Today's topic of discussion is current controlled current source, that is current amplifier. By the end of this lecture, you will learn what is current amplifier, how should be the values of input and output resistance, what should be the values of shunt resistance at input, what is input biasing principle, what is output biasing principle, and equivalent circuit diagram representation of current amplifier. Okay, this is the equivalent circuit diagram representation of current amplifier. The input is in the form of current and the output is also taken in the form of current, that is nothing but current amplifier. Now you see here, this is called as input resistance, and this is called as output resistance. Now clearly you can see here the output resistance is in shunt with this source. This source is current source, which is again depending in the input current, depending on the input current, that is II. So this is AI times of II, which is called as current dependent current source. So from there the name current controlled current source is obtained. If you look at input as it is current source, the equivalent representation of current source is like this. This is my input current Ix. The shunt resistance will be somewhat like this, Rs, and here the current will split like this, and it is given to the entire circuit. Now the input biasing principle is Norton's equivalent, and the output biasing principle is also Norton's equivalent in this case. Now if you connect this source across here, that is Rs in shunt and Ix. Let me use the term Ix. Why? Because Ia is already used here. Now in this fashion you will connect the input side circuit, and the load will be connected across the output, and this is I0. Now if you look here, the current Ix should entirely flow into the circuit. Then what should be the value of Rs? And already I have explained in voltage controlled voltage source. Again I am explaining here. If the current to enter into the circuit entirely, what should be the value of this Rs? This Rs should be sufficiently high enough so that the entire current will come into this circuit. But I already told you this is called as Rin, and this is called as series resistance. Not shunt resistance of the source. The only thing that we can control from input point of view, the only thing that we can control is this input resistance, because by default the shunt resistance is gifted to us. By default with the source this is gifted to us, we cannot control this. So the only thing that we can control is this input resistance. So in order to get the entire current here, this should be sufficiently low, or by using current division rule, Ix into Rs by Rs plus Ri will give you the current II. Now to get II, this Ri should be sufficiently small. If this is ideally equal to 0, then these two will cancel and you will get II is approximately equal to Ix. But ideally this is not possible to become 0, but the condition is the input resistance should be small, very small. So this is one conclusion that we can draw from input side. Or Rs should be sufficiently high. This should be equal to infinite, but this is not in our hands. So the only thing that we can discuss now is about Ri. Now coming to this output end, load is let us say some speakers are connected. Then we cannot limit or we cannot change the load resistance of the speakers. The only thing that we can control is this output shunt resistance, Rout. Now again by using current division rule, Iout equal to gain times of II is at input into R0 by R0 plus RL. You can refer to my earlier videos about voltage division rule and current division rule for more clarity of how I am writing the formula directly. Now to get the entire current from this part to load, the value of R0 should be very high. If R0 is much greater than RL, then you can neglect this value and R0 will get cancelled. So you will get I0 approximately equal to gain times of II. So our motive is to transfer this entire current through this part and get this entire current to the load. So this is our motive. So to attain that, the R0 value should be much greater. R0 should be high. So this is one more conclusion we can draw from this circuit. So R0 should be very high. So I am writing the conclusions. So in current amplifier, the input resistance should be very small and the output resistance should be very high. So we will discuss much after entering into op amps, etc. So these are the main conclusions that we have to learn from the current amplifier, and the input is in the form of current and the output is also in the form of current. The source, you can see here, the source is current controlled current source. So the name obtained from this point mainly. Now let us see whether we have learned about these or not. So now you can answer what is current amplifier and the values of input and output resistance. The input should be very small, ideally equal to 0. The output should be very high, ideally equal to infinite, and the shunt resistance should be very high, ideally equal to infinite, but we cannot control this. The input biasing principle is Norton's equivalent. The output biasing principle is also Norton's equivalent, and I have explained about equivalent circuit diagram representation. Now everyone are getting confused at this part. This is input resistance, and either shunt or series resistance means this part where it will come along with the source, and this is output, and the thing that you connect here is load. Hope you guys learned something new. That's all for this video. See you in the next one.